the chicks is thicker. Reppin' for the team, that's the bench of Houston Sippers. She don't want your liquor, she don't want your chipper. She poppin' for a legend, that's a real massa flipper. This is for la raza, this is for la raza. I'm in my trap, casa whipping up the damn massa. It is Monday, March 11th, episode number 57. I'm your boy Chingo, Bling with the big tamarindo, a.k.a. the motherfucking freestyling wizard in this bitch. And we have Marisol to my left.
How's everyone doing?
Match my energy, baby.
Hey.
Meet me halfway.
Know what I'm saying? Do you want me to start rapping next?
You over there on Instagram.
I was gonna go live on it, but then I just decided that I'm not gonna go live.
She's trying to show off them new glasses she just got.
And the hair.
That's what.
No, my hair's old. I already had it for a while.
Yeah, she didn't grow it herself, but she had it for about a couple weeks.
I done had about a couple weeks. My little lace front.
And of course, we got at Rob G
TV.
Media. TV what? Media?
At Rob G
Johnny.
TV, man.
Oh, I'm throwing out one of your Hotmails.
Yeah,
and
it's
shit.
all good. It's all good. Yeah, email me.
At AOL. And special guest in the house, man. My partner, man, he's doing a run in the city. So tonight, because we're filming this on a Wednesday, he's at the he stopped by he's gonna do the joke joint tonight. You're hitting Avant Garden on Thursday, and then Friday he's at the Secret Group. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the very funny Luis Juarez.
Woo!
What's up, man?
My homie, man.
Good to be here.
My homie. We just did Midland, Texas, along with Midnight, representing that Oak Cliff. And I had my two Dallas homies with me, and we got to the venue 2 hours early this time because we had it's a theater and we had to do extra setup, right? So I started getting a little antsy. It's like, man, I've been here for 2 hours, and it's like you're like the tiger in the cage. It's like you ready for showtime. And my boy Luis is like, man, let's freestyle rap, see if we loosen up. And we had it going, man.
Yeah,
we
man,
wrecked a couple flows.
We were below the stage too, so it was like
Grab that mic and pull it like so. Like
Yeah,
right,
keep the mic
We
right
were
there.
we were underground,
I
literally
say y'all
rapping.
start one now. Hey.
Hey,
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 hey, hey, hey, hey.
There you go. Yo, chicken, and I'm flicking. The freestyling on the Chingo Bling podcast. I'm gonna kick it. What he said, that's my ass. I don't know what the fuck I just said. I'm freestyling. This ain't sway in the morning, but fuck it. I'm freestyling. It was better than that at the
I'm
time.
freestyling. But it was fun though.
It was cool.
Midnight was lit. And we hit that Midland and we wrecked that bitch. It's a lot of humidity. Whole lot of hoes. Every time I fucking flow, it always kick in the door. And I was freestyle, rapping like the 80s.
Hey.
Oh my God, I'm so
That's all I
fucking
know.
high and rusty.
Imagine how that kid felt at the coffee shop. Chingo and Marisol were trying to get this
We started freestyle rapping at the
nice
coffee
little
shop.
white boy making the coffee. And he was just like, I can't.
Are these beans ethically raised,
I said,
pharmaceutically sourced?
Just edit some Biggie raps over my freestyle.
I'll do that. Don't worry.
Yo, so Midland, Texas, man, thank you guys so much. I thought I was going to strike oil while I was out there. I didn't find no oil. But, man, they showed a lot of love, man. West Texas came out.
Yeah, man.
It was like super duper packed. Was it sold out?
So actually, I hate to say this, but we were 31 tickets away from selling it out.
What next time, Midland,
31
Odessa?
tickets. I was like, no.
It could have been sold out. So, but we don't cap, we don't flex, we don't lie and be like, oh, we sold it out. So if I say I sold it out, it means I sold that motherfucker out.
Yeah, it's true.
I
said it was sold out online, but
I mean,
Okay.
it looked hella sold out.
you didn't lie, technically.
Right? I
You know what I'm
mean,
saying?
didn't it?
Yeah, it looked
Yeah.
packed as shit. So look,
Fool.
So from where I was sitting, babe, in the sound booth, to my left, there was just 3 rows that were empty, which were the 31 seats. But even the first couple of rows from on the second level, those were full too.
yeah. And shout out to my boys Smuck and Ro. I haven't seen them in a few years, man. They came through, hung out with them, and here's some crazy shit. I'm gonna let them in on how my adrenaline really got to pumping. So normally when we do venues, there's like, I don't want to say security or bouncers, but it's a pretty safe environment. But you never know, because I'll be on my toes. So we were like side stage,
like on the side. It's a theater. It's a big stage. There's a curtain and stuff. And we're up in there just kind of waiting, trying to communicate with the, what do you call it, back of the house, the sound people, so they can let us know, are we starting or not? And we started hearing like, some murmuring. And then somebody was like, hey, man, you can't be up here. And then we're like, what the fuck? There's 2 dudes getting on stage. And then, Midnight Luis, looking like some security guards, like some bouncers and shit, they come out. And then, of course, I'm like, look, whatever the fuck's happening, we need to nip this shit in the bud. Like, we got to go up in whoever's face this is to let them know, hey, man, friend or foe, what's happening? Yeah. But I seen one of them reach into his pocket slow motion. I said, oh, shit, I'm finna have to pull out my little jujitsu, have to pull out my little 3 boxing classes on your ass.
I started warming you up.
Yeah. They saw me taping my hands up this and that.
And I started doing jumping jacks.
Everything.
I saw that shit.
And we started battle dancing against them, and we freestyle rapped them to death. But anyway, they wanted a picture and stuff, but they were a little crunk. They were probably kind of lit, and it took me back to my rap days where we're doing all these crazy like bar gigs per se. There's like hood clubs, the grassroots side of town. And so it kind of like not rattled me a little bit, but I'm like, damn, okay, well, we're awake now. We freestyle rapped, but anything can happen. This is a live show. Tiger's out of the motherfucking cage. But they went and sat down. They was just getting a little impatient, I think. But the show was successful, man, But I already know, Midland, come on. I've been there plenty of times, all the way back to the Odessa car shows and all that. And I know Midland likes to turn up.
They were good though.
I mean, all they have to do out there is drink, right? Isn't that what your friend said?
They said that a lot of the Midland people were telling me that the county alone, I think per month, brings in like $5 million in alcohol, like I guess the little
sales.
Yeah, beverage, alcohol, wine.
It's Mardi Gras every day there.
No kidding, right?
Afternoon.
Shit. All that oil money, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bud Light and oil. That's all you do.
Bud Light and oil. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's true.
Yeah.
I just took the best picture of Marisol licking her lips while she's looking at Chingo. It's hilarious.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, caption that, baby.
100%.
Wow. So we just before we dive into some other stuff, I want to talk to you about, Luis.
It was some leftover. No, just kidding.
Some what?
It was some leftover.
Oh my god.
Oh, you freestyle rapping over here?
No, because he said I licked my lips, and I said it was some leftover. Oh my god.
He's not picking up what we're putting down.
So we're coming back from the offices of Live Nation. They have like House of Blues and all that. So got to go meet the folks out there. So hopefully in 2020 we'll be able to hit a lot of these cities we haven't been able to hit, man. But it's good to have you on the show, brother, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Houston's gonna love you.
So here's the question I want to ask you. With all the comedy that you've been doing it lately, like touring and coming with us, how much are you participating in your wedding plans?
Oh man, we had like a long conversation last night about it. Like, should we push it back another like a year? Because we already have the date. We got the venue.
Wait, did y'all get the deposit already too?
We put the deposit down.
Shit.
She's busy too. She's caught up in her work.
So are y'all doing like a church wedding?
Nah, we got this train station in downtown Fort Worth, and we're gonna do the ceremony there, and then like have everybody grab their chairs and take it to the table, and then we were gonna have the reception right after.
So you're gonna hire like a, what do you call it, ordained minister or whatever?
Yeah, I have a cousin said she wants to do it. She said she's gonna get. I guess you could do it on the internet or something like that.
Oh yeah, you can get.
Jingo should do it. Be the ordained minister.
That'd be.
Hey
dope.
man,
Cool.
if my career ever just slows all the way down, please don't let me be ordained.
$50 here, $50 there.
It adds up. Nah.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting because like event planning is a ton of work.
Yeah, it's tough.
So it depends on like how elaborate, how intricate.
I have a confession. That's why I didn't I just don't do I don't want a wedding.
I mean, we're married.
We're married. We're married, but
event
for
planning.
me, so when I thought about it, right, I was like, it's gonna be super simple. It's only going to be your siblings, your parents, right? No nieces, no nephews, just immediate. I only have my mom and my dad. I mean, excuse me. I wish my dad was here. My mom and my sister, and that's it. So that's all I want. Obviously, Mickey and Penny. And then that's all I wanted. The minute I started to think that I was going to have to now I'm going to have to find perhaps someone to marry us. Now we're going to have to go get a restaurant where we can feed just us immediate. Like, I was like, I started to my palms got sweaty. Like, I started and then I texted him and I said, nah, I'm good. I said, I don't think I want that. Yes. I said, I just want pictures. Like, I just want a dress. You wear a tuxedo. The girls wear a dress. And let's just go find, wherever we vacation this year, can we just take the pictures out there? And he was like, okay, wait, can I get back home and we can talk about this? Are you sure you want to do this? Is how you want it? I said, positive.
I mean, that sounds perfect for me. Sometimes when you, for me, I don't know about you, but sometimes when it comes to stuff like this, like weddings and stuff, and you start opening up the floodgates to family. Because then it's well, this cousin, how close are you with this cousin? But this cousin didn't get invited. Or is this cousin even going to go? This cousin's going to criticize you and talk shit about, fuck these flowers. Look at these flowers, so cheap-ass flowers. Yeah. Or why'd they go with that color? Or the brisket was dry. Hombre, pinche pastel. Todo desabrido.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing on the way home. So part of me is this is for us. It's not for everybody. And instead of trying to please everybody, it's just stressful.
You just want the closest people to you,
exactly.
Right?
That's why I said I just would want his siblings, his mom and dad, my mom and my sister, and then our kids, obviously, and that's it. We don't need the extra. It could just be us having a good time. But then when I thought about it, I was like, it already seems like extra. Does that make sense? Because I'm sure my mom's gonna want to hey, well, can I buy you this? And which I don't mind. I don't mind people offering, but it's girl, you done had a baby. You do not need no
forever, my lady.
So anyway, I guess the reason why I'm asking is you're on the road a lot. So where do you get a chance to even sit with her? And I know she's a designer, so she spends a lot of her time I think creating and doing stuff.
It really still hasn't become real to me. I feel it's still a year and a half away.
It's a group. It's a group project.
Yeah, it's 2 years away, and it's the procrastination's coming in. I'm I don't want to. She keeps asking me questions, and I'll get nervous and don't know, and I'll be like, yeah, whatever, that's fine, whatever, and I'm agreeing to whatever, so I'm not really in it. But after with the conversation yesterday, we really sat down and we're all right, we need to start figuring out who we're going to invite. We're going to have a band.
But didn't you tell me you're going to have a big wedding, right? You're having quite a bit of people, right? What is the number?
I would say it's about 125 to 150. That's not huge, is it?
I guess that's about average nowadays. Yeah.
I don't know. I've been to a couple weddings recently, and they were all in the 300-400s, which was that's big.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's not too bad. Then.
Yeah, it's
the food is what's expensive.
Yeah,
figuring out what people eat because my girl is black. Her family is not Mexican. My family is very Mexican. A lot of my family that's coming to the wedding is from Mexico. So it's
so wait, when's the last time you saw those family members that are in Mexico though that you're having to invite?
It's been a while.
See, why are you having to invite them?
I don't even know if I'm inviting them yet.
Okay, got it.
You just kind of put them on the spot.
For real.
Yeah, it's crazy. See, hopefully they don't listen to the podcast.
Put some Biggie raps over that part. What I just said also.
Yeah, that's difficult.
Yeah,
I'm always curious, when a guy's planning or has to be a part of it, and it's just kind of they don't want to be a part of it, but they're forced to be a part of it. I'm always curious to
especially when they get bridezilla, on TV shows and stuff, and it's annoying. It's annoying.
It is very annoying.
And I mean, it could probably tell you a lot about your woman. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
What I mean. Hold on, girl. What, you getting defensive?
Well, wait, what's that?
You getting defensive? No, what I'm trying to say is I found the right one.
Oh, okay. There we go.
What I'm saying is I would probably really be second guessing some shit if in the planning process you see this other side of this person where it's Jesus, you're so like you say if you were just super materialistic or self-centered or I mean, it is your day, so you are the center, but any just character flaws. I think stressful situations where people put too much into it, it brings that shit out instead of making it fun.
Has been stressful for you guys?
It should be fun,
Kinda.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah. But
you're trying to make them break down on it.
Right.
No, I really don't know though. That's the thing though. It's I still don't know what we're gonna do. we got the venue. The other day we're like, well, should we get plastic like silverware? Like, should we get like, that means if we get regular silverware and we get regular plates, we're gonna have to get people to come in and clean up.
Yeah.
So all that's part of it, and I'm just looking at it like, I just want to marry you. I'm like, let's just get married. But she loves
the most important part.
Yeah, well, she's a
But
fashion
her
designer.
exactly, I was just gonna say that's her field. Like, so for her, she's probably like envisioned it for a very long time, and she's probably super detailed. Like, this is the color of this that I want. If it's like whatever it is, you know, it's
and I'm cool with letting her pick everything, honestly.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to feel like I'm not involved at all. Like,
Yeah.
I want to know something, like, especially like if I go show up to the wedding and the food's not good, I'm gonna be like, take that.
Hey, I
That's
want
my
you to
fault.
tell our listeners what you want to get your groomsmen. That was the best fucking shit ever.
Well, you started saying
Because I recently started a joke like talking about I want to
Yeah,
get my
that's
groomsmen
what-
together.
You were saying that you said you
we
want to
were
get
in-
him a box of.
we were in
remember?
Florida, and I remember even Bryson was like, "Yeah, Chingo, like, what'd you get your groomsman like?" Because he got his something really nice,
Right?
right?
really
He said
cool.
he got him a tie and
Like
stuff,
a
right?
custom,
Yeah,
like some
yeah.
custom stuff. He's like, "What'd you get your guys?" You know, like some sneakers with the thing, and I'm like, "What? No." and then Luis.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about getting them like a shoebox, like just a shoebox, and inside of it have like their favorite liquor bottle, and then like open the box, and on it says, "Will you be my groomsman?" and then like have some cocaine stapled to it, or whatever their drug of choice is. You know?
No, man.
Fucking needle with a fucking rubber band. Let's do this.
Leather belt.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What would you have given your groomsman, babe?
A bag of heroin. No, groomsman.
Had we had a wedding?
Yeah, let me think. It'd probably have to be something like dope you can keep and use, like a wine glass, a beer mug.
I got a flask, like an engraved flask.
That sounds
the
cool.
last
Oh, that's
wedding I was
cool.
in.
That's some
Yeah.
alky shit, though,
way more
bro.
practical.
100%. Oh, Our audience, come on. Everyone's like, yeah, I'd love a
So-
flask.
Yeah.
Question, not to be judgmental, but do people? What percentage of people you think keep a flask on them? Like I'll keep weed on me, but I'm not gonna be like, oh fuck, I just need a little swig.
Dude, where I'm from, I would say like 90%.
Have a flask.
100%. Even when I was in school, back in the day, if you'd go to Spencer's and stuff, you could get belts that had a flask built in, sandals that had a flask built in.
And so estás pisteando throughout the day? Like, what do you...
100%.
Like, just at work, driving?
Whatever, yeah. Because you're talking about, an area where not too long ago, you could just drink while you drive and you throw the fucking can in the bed of your truck.
What are you talking about, Needville?
Yeah,
or-
out there, Warden,
Well, you said you grew up like in the country.
Yeah. So that was a regular thing.
What type of liquor you think somebody just keeps on them with a flask?
Whiskey, because most people over there are white, But if it's our people, probably.
Damn, why they
tequila.
gotta
I just want to say that this is Chingo Bling speaking. I don't generalize like some people do.
Producer Rob that said that, yeah. Not for real, though.
Yeah. That's crazy.
They do.
What brand of whiskey you think?
Jack, man, Jack and Coke.
And so they're just sipping on it throughout the day.
When I was younger, I had a flask on me when I was like in my early 20s.
There you go.
Really?
If I go to a party or I go to the club, it'd be easier to like pour
Yeah,
it. Buying
I
shots
only,
is
I only did
expensive.
that when I went on a cruise, just because a friend of mine said that the alcohol's super expensive on a cruise. So we took a couple of bottles in the suitcase. Not everybody's suitcase was, you know how they search through them to make sure you don't bring any bottles on there. So a few of our friends, their bottles got confiscated, mine didn't. So it was kind of cool, but we ended up getting flasks to be able to go be around the boat and
Women have those purses that you can dump a gallon of wine in there.
yeah.
Have you seen those?
What the fuck?
Where it's insulated and everything, and also there's like literally a spout, like you could just
Like a fucking little
I have seen
straw?
that.
yeah.
Like the gerbil thing? Like the little hamster
There's
thing?
there's
Like
that, but also like those little Ozarka things where you just flip the little knob or like the Gatorade,
It's just a
jugs.
bag. Yeah.
Like a bladder?
Yeah, man.
When we used to go to the
A
river, you know
wine
the what are
purse
those called? The backpacks with the
Camelback.
Camelback.
Well, we used to fill those up
Yep.
with alcohol, and it was like
Don't
while
they
we're
have
on the
one-
river.
Don't they have one that's like a bra? And
Yep.
like you fill
It's a
up the
vest.
bra and it
Yeah.
gets
Oh, that's
bigger?
dope. I
Yep.
haven't seen that
Yeah.
one.
Serious?
One
Yeah.
titty smaller than the other.
That's cool.
You got to sip out the other one. Wow.
She was blown away.
One
by this.
time we were on the river, and it was like all of a sudden that storm came through. Do you remember at one time it happened in New Braunfels where like it started to flood? Well, we were like kind of like not all there, and so all of a sudden people are like waving like this, and
She
we're
means drunk. And this ain't me. This is her other friend. This back in the day.
and so these are with my friends.
Now I got her praying and stuff.
I know all the prayers.
Hello?
Anyway, so there's people. We're like, oh, well, it's just raining. I mean, okay, it looks dark. We're used to rain, right?
Yeah.
It's Texas.
Houstonians.
Anyway, so the people at the edge were like, get off. Hey. We're like, who are they
It's a
talking
waterfall.
to? Next thing you know, I swear it was like I blinked and I just saw the water start going. Like it just started, and our float just kind of started going like this. I said, hell nah. I went from being like, what's going on
Adrenaline,
to
fear?
like, yes, to like
fight or
sober.
flight hormones.
And I said, hey, I'm getting off. I don't know about y'all. I'm like swimming. And they're like, oh, we'll be good. I said, cool, I'm leaving. Like, I like woke up and then they realized.
So you got out of the river?
I got out of the river because
This
I
is
was
in
like.
New Braunfels?
New Braunfels.
Which, if you go to chingobling.com, tickets are available
There you
right
go.
now. Goofies. Also featuring Luis Juarez. Also, we're going to have Rick Gutierrez
Rick Gutierrez
San
and
Antonio.
Midnight.
and Midnight. Sass.
And actually, I'll be there.
Oh
Ironically.
yeah,
motherfucker,
Rob, you're
yeah,
coming.
that's
I
weird.
forgot.
Hey, Marisol.
And-
Dog.
Wait,
It's
New
finna be a
Braunfels?
party.
I didn't know about that. That's
Is he
news.
not on New
That's
Braunfels? Is he
news.
not on New Braunfels?
Oh shit! Did we not tell him in Midnight? It just got added.
But it's the next day, right?
Yeah.
After,
Yes.
after Waco? Okay. that's
Well,
no big-
still, you might want to hit Midnight.
Oh,
That's
man,
hilarious.
Midnight.
Somebody shoot a text right now.
Somebody's
Just kidding.
laughing at us on the podcast.
For
right now.
real,
They're
like-
like, these motherfuckers. It just got added. We
I
wanted.
dropped the ball. That's my fault. That's my
it's
department. So
Oh, while you're at it, does Javi know he's doing Mathis in Kingsville?
I didn't know we had asked him.
Or who?
We
This
haven't
is
asked
hilarious.
anybody.
This is how things get planned.
Shout out
No,
Javi.
we haven't.
No,
we haven't
this-
asked anybody.
No, this is what it is. My baby lined up the whole tour.
True.
Many months ago. Some opportunities came up to go and perform in front of some towns that aren't necessarily big cities. You know, we're doing Mathis, Texas. Do you even know what Mathis, Texas is, brother?
Is it close to Houston?
No, it's out somewhere near Kingsville, like out in the middle by not really the valley, not really Corpus, but it's like
I know
over.
Kingsville. Yeah, it's close to the valley.
Yeah, so we added Mathis. Shout out to Big House Burgers out there. They got a bunch of businesses, and I think they own the venue.
Cool.
But anyway, and we're doing Comedy Club New Braunfels. Yeah, man. So I got hip to you through Midnight. I think we were doing Joke Joint last summer, where I was. I think it was maybe even 2
That
years
was
ago.
2017,
Tuesday.
yeah.
So it was 2017. The Netflix thing had just came out, and I had zero material. So I had to get up there and get in front of people and talk and figure it out. And we featured Midnight as like our headliner one of the Wednesdays, and he brought you, and shit, we've been kicking
Man,
it
it's
ever
been
since.
cool since, man.
Been
I remember
kicking it.
that being a sold out show, and you killed it that night. Midnight killed it. We all did good. Shit.
It was those Telocico Tuesdays were pretty cool because they were actually they haven't sold out here recently at the Joke Joint like
Well,
they
I
did
don't even-
last year.
I don't even think it's on my website, like in terms of like a ticket link, and I don't want to confuse people and have them thinking that it's the Latino as fuck tour. But
Yeah.
I think last year or the 2 years ago, it was like on the website, like Houston.
Yeah, it was. I think so. And it was kind of cool because people were coming out and they were really watching. So that was pretty awesome. People have still been coming out here. So you'll see hopefully tonight we'll have a good crowd as well. But we've been having quite a bit of people coming out to those, and they've been enjoying them. And, you know, they'll stop and say thank you for having it, which is kind of cool that this is happening in
It's
the
at the new
in
Joke
the
joint,
scene.
right?
Yeah,
This is the new Joke
I
Joint,
hadn't
yeah.
seen it, so I'm excited.
It's nice. It's big. It's
There's
They
a
got
lot
2
of
rooms.
potential.
yeah.
2 rooms, right?
2 rooms. So open mic is happening on the other side too.
And they're actually bringing what's her name?
The one that slept with Trump.
Oh yeah, Stormy Daniels.
Her.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
They got Stormy Daniels.
She's catching a lot of flack for that.
She is.
Yeah, or
For-
the
Why?
internet world.
She
just-
catching a lot of checks for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people hating.
That's what I would imagine.
So
Who
they are,
like
a bunch of
comedians?
haters.
Comedians are hating her.
Comedians.
I mean, does she?
Anybody's doing stand up type thing.
Is she
You know,
doing
that's-
stand up?
Yeah, she's doing stand up.
Stop. Is that really why she's coming?
I think so.
She's doing stand
Oh,
up.
I want to watch that, babe.
We'll
Come
just
on.
Hit Ken Reed up. I feel like I'm kind of like Stormy.
Oh,
in a way,
Was so-
because I'm not your traditional like Chingo Daniels.
I also spank Trump.
No, what I mean is like I'm also kind of an outsider in a way,
Yeah.
because I'm not traditional stand-up guy. Don't worry about me. I'm just a rapper. You know,
I'm gonna Photoshop you on Stormy Daniels' body now.
Chingo
Special
Daniels.
guest
The joke
during that
joint.
show, Chingo Bling.
Chingo Daniels.
Chingo Daniels.
Chingo Daniels.
So yeah, I mean, don't shit. I caught, I'm sure, a little bit of flack, but you know, I was, you know, I was too focused. I didn't really hear it.
Yeah, but you're like mainly focused on just stand up for like
Yeah.
the last 4 years now.
And I'm nice. I'm nice with it. So I mean, you know, I do this because I'm nice, bro. I didn't even choose the game. The game
I
chose
wouldn't
me.
I
feel like
was
that.
so. Oh, cool.
Talk your shit, baby. Talk your shit.
All right, LeBron, talk your shit, young blood.
You know what I'm saying? Let me talk my shit.
Well, no, you have come a long way. I mean,
I'm nice.
So I met Midnight at one of the first shows that he was doing, and I was like, okay, he's got potential, because I did really just think that. Everybody's like, damn,
Of course,
that's
you're
fucked
super
up. That's his-
whack in the beginning.
That's your dog. And
By
that's
the
how
way,
you-
I did him dirty. What'd y'all call him, Coco?
Oh yeah, midnight.
That was so funny.
Oh, that was
clip.
hilarious.
No, I got the red hood.
Señores, sí, ¿cómo va?
Yeah,
Señoras y señores.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches.
That's a great movie.
I used to know the song. I have the soundtrack.
We don't even
It's
want to know
good.
why.
Is it
Hey,
good?
listen, when I first, speaking of that movie, whenever I had just had Penny, I would kind of take the night, I did have the night shift. And so I would have him kind of take that last bottle feed that's early in the morning, and that would be his turn. And so I'd wake up sometimes and then Coco would be playing. I was like, she likes this? She's like, yeah, she's totally watching it.
She's
It
only
was
like a week old.
Yeah.
And I when I was, morning shift, wasn't nobody up but me and day laborers at that time. And I would take Penny to the living room because it's like, oh wait, I've done this before. Like I have a 10-year-old, but it's been a while. So I'm like, all right, let's get some entertainment going. All right, a little Poco Loco. Let's put a little blankie down. Let's make a little palette. All right, rattle on standby. And just kind of did it my way, and really just to like pass the time. Like today, I watched it for like an hour, which is like my limit. When I start,
Yeah, it
Now
is.
she's
when I
jamming to
start
Cardi
kind
B.
of getting overwhelmed, huh?
So now she's dancing to Cardi B. She's all grown up.
Yeah.
Nah, I took her for a walk and shit.
Yeah, I already know when if it's I've exceeded my time, because I'll get a text like, "Oh, are you almost done?
Are you still at the mall, bro?
Are you still okay? How much longer do you think?" I'm like, "Dang,
much-
it's only been an hour,
How
bro."
much wine is left in your purse?
Y'all taking shifts then?
Those chips?
So I mean, whenever we don't need the babysitter a certain time,
Well-
then we alternate
well,
until the babysitter gets you.
Yeah, well, this morning, like, say, I'm going to go to the gym, so she's got it. And then when I come back, I'll take over. You go to the gym, stuff like that. But the babysitter, she's holding it down.
Yeah, so she came in. Tonight we have joke joint, so I don't like. Otherwise she's got to work like a whole 12-hour shift if she comes in early. So
Yeah, because we had to go to Live Nation. We're podcasting now,
and then we joke joint
later.
after.
Y'all have this trust in her, right? Like,
I
'cause
feel, yeah, for sure.
I feel like if I had a newborn, I would feel so precious.
You should have seen me at the
Fucking up.
beginning. I got in trouble. He was like, "Okay, we can't be paying somebody, and you still want to sit in here and
still wanna
watch
do
this lady.
everything.
Like, you still want to do everything. Like, this lady's got to do her job." And she was cool about it, though. It's like she was giving me my space, like allowing me to okay, I gotta wait until she trusts me, and I get it that she doesn't. And I started off by only allowing her to stay with Penny by herself for an hour. And how I did it was I'd only go to the gym, and I'd immediately come back, and I wouldn't tell her when I was coming back, because if I caught her doing something, I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna catch you in action, right? Or I'd sneak in through the back door so she wouldn't know that I was coming, and so
And then there's an alarm sensor up in the corner.
now there is, but we didn't have it at the beginning.
Well, there was an alarm sensor. She's like, I just want to let you know that's
Oh,
a
yeah,
camera.
yeah. There's a sensor from the people.
She's like, that's a camera.
Oh, I told her, I said, that's a camera right there, just so you know. And so till this day, she thinks it's a camera, but it's
She can't
not.
dig
It's
in
a
her
sensor.
nose. She can't dig in her nose. She
Yeah.
can't fall
So
asleep.
I don't I wanted her to know, I'm watching you, so don't be fucking around with my child. But it
No,
was
but she's
hard
cool.
at
But she's
first.
cool.
It was super hard. So yeah, you're right. It was hard until finally it was like it started little by little. I'd still work, literally watching her like a hawk. I'm sure I made her super uncomfortable, like, you know, just because.
Where you going?
I was like watching how she held her, and I'm like, hey, that's not how I feed her. I need you to sit her up a little bit more. So she's like, oh, okay. Like she would never like say like.
In her head,
I'm sure she was saying like little bitch, you know,
like,
but she would never say anything. She's like, sure, if that's the one you want me to feed her, cool. And I'd be like, yeah, hey, don't burp her like that. Can you burp? You know what I'm saying? Like it was like bad. It was bad. I'm not gonna lie.
It's more like her putting you at ease, though, right?
Yeah. And then finally, she was like, she said when she always tells me this story. She's like, I still see you stressed out, but nothing like when I first started coming to help you guys. Because she said that she said I had the overwhelmed look, like that. I was like, just, that was it.
You be tired.
Because I was tired, right? And I was still trying to run a tour. And it was
wrangle up all the acts, all the comedians.
So our apologies, for there not being, for you not knowing that you're doing.
It's cool.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's good news.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I saw you perform the new joke that you had told me about, and that's always cool, man, to see someone's act like develop and just side stage, like yo, like when Midnight was up there, Luis and myself were like, yo, he's doing bonobos. He's doing the bonobo. Yeah, like we just talked about that.
We wrote a lot of new stuff in when we were in West Palm was like a month ago, and now it's all starting to get really good.
The bonobos and all that, or which
with that Fox News and fucking joke that I have, which I just gave away the main line of the joke.
Hey,
but I feel like he'll get impeached soon, so the joke probably won't be worth anything anymore. But somebody yelled "build the wall" at me while I was at a show.
Man, you really think?
Oh
yeah, no, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
No, what were you saying?
Do you really think he's gonna get impeached?
Probably not. I don't know. Keep hoping, maybe, but.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I try.
You got MAGA hat over here.
Damn, what if I was? They never see me, and then when it pans over to me, I got a fucking MAGA hat on.
Yeah, hey, I don't.
Or we secretly never knew that's how he felt, babe. He's been a part of our team.
Rob and I have had a couple disagreements, a couple things. You know, like for instance, he feels that whose fries are better than Five Guys fries?
Whataburger.
Yeah, I don't know about that, dog. Maybe not.
Have you had Five Guys?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, no. Burgers, no. Whataburger fries are good.
Yeah. Well, what else were you going to say?
Man, we had a little disagreement, man. I keep a list of, you know what I'm saying, me and Rob, you know, that's why I don't bring up the president. No, I'm playing.
Damn.
No, it was about
one of them.
Rob's like, shit, I don't remember that.
No. It was about, it's funny. It's nothing. It was about, when they were talking about Fortnite stole the dances from all these black kids and rappers and shit.
Damn, that was like a long time ago.
Yeah,
I can't believe. Damn, bringing up old shit like a girlfriend.
Why are we bringing up old shit?
You remember that other night? You remember? Yeah.
Yeah, don't think I forgot.
No, I forgave you, but I didn't forget.
You hurt my feelings with that one, Rob.
Didn't forget. Okay.
Nah, but he had a good perspective. It was like, it wasn't a debate, but I came in so sure, like, man, nobody gonna change my mind. That's intellectual property, and you ain't coming up with that. Fortnite ain't coming up with all this drip and all these sauce dances, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you're a culture vulture. But Rob was kind of like, well, you know, he had his side, and I was like, damn, man, you make sense. And I wasn't prepared.
What did you say, that they made him up?
No, I remember saying something to the effect of like there was some parallel thinking in there with some of the stuff, maybe, you know. And she was like, "All right, that's kind of a political way to put it, but
I was like, it's a racist way to not want to pay these black kids that invented some dances." Jesus, Fortnite.
I don't play Fortnite, but what do they got? The stinky leg on there now, or what?
Dude, they have like 100 dances.
Stinky leg. I don't.
Yeah.
Like the little floss and
everything, yeah. They really do have a lot of like what's, you know,
it's
prominent
pop
right
culture
now.
for kids right now.
I haven't played a video game since probably Super Mario Kart.
Or since Mickey. I got Mickey.
That's the last time.
She still has the Wii U, but I don't know if I just need to just take my time one day and just plug it all back in, because I have a feeling that there might be a cord missing or something.
When we moved. Or
maybe that TV that she has, it might not have all the right connections, but anyway, it's kind of a cool little distraction. You know, I'm trying to figure out how I can pitch it to my woman. Like, hey, you know, I need about like an hour of gameplay.
For real. And then we Twitch it. We stream it.
And then it could be content.
Cool. Yeah.
She's going to be like, no, motherfucker, you ain't finna just...
Now, are we playing against each other?
Sure.
Okay.
Playing in what? What game?
FIFA, because soccer.
Oh, I'd
play
beat him.
FIFA?
Yeah.
Oh man, I love FIFA. That's my favorite game.
I don't know how to play soccer.
Yeah, I'd probably beat him.
My girl just got me a Super Nintendo for my birthday.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
When he showed me that the old school Nintendo came out, I really wanted that.
Like
I
the
really
little
was.
pocket one, the USB one.
Yeah, but they
no.
like sold out, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I got when I was like,
Yeah.
they came out with the
man.
that was my first game system ever. That like I remember the Nintendo, but that was like a little bit before
Yeah.
Super Nintendo came out.
When he showed me, I was like, you got to get one. Like, you have to. Like, it's
Yeah.
part of our history from, when we were kids. I'm all
So-
for that one.
Have y'all seen on Instagram where they have those emulators, or it's like it has like 80 games in
Right.
it, and
Mhm.
it's like they licensed it or something? Are those legit? Like, could I get on there and buy one?
I bought one. I bought one from Best Buy when they first kind of came out, and like once they stocked the shelves, they were out. Right, like that same day or within like an hour. Got one.
The Nintendo version?
Yeah, it was like $100 maybe.
Yeah, but I'm talking about these little off-brand ones.
Oh, I don't know about those. Like Soldier Boy's got something like that.
Because I've seen an ad or something on my feed.
Soldier Boy has one.
Yeah, he said his own gaming console, his own little.
Is he one of the characters in the game?
I haven't played it, but no, it's one of those where it's like loaded with a bunch of games.
He's all like,
Yeah. No, but so you play it and it's like nostalgic and it's cool, and then you're like, but this Xbox One plays 4K video games. Like, what?
Exactly.
After an hour, like you're over it.
So
It's just that little nostalgia itch.
Yeah.
This is kind of on subject, but not really, only because you know how the whole thing like boys play better than girls or vice versa, right? So I just saw this thing about a wrestling match, right? Where a transgender got to do a like wrestling competition,
Yeah.
and he got to fight another in the
girl.
female division, right? So there's like a whole debate going on about it. So my question to you guys is it fair to say that a transgender guy, but who's a girl now, can fight other women? Because doesn't he technically, even though he changed his body part, still have the strength of a man? Because his strength is not going to turn into a female. Not saying that women ain't strong, because I will beat a hoe. But I will... You know what I'm saying?
But a hoe that's like 6'2" with a man structure.
What about a
Yeah.
hoe that used to be a man?
Yeah.
We still be.
So my question to
Shim?
you guys, is it fair?
Is it cut off already? Like, or
So
they
it's-
make
It's
the full
a transgender.
what if she gets hard on the girl?
He's
While they wrestle?
yeah, he's transitioned. It's a female
It's a
part now.
banana split.
But so they allowed her, who to fight with other women, and he won. He took the girl's title, who's a 4-year champ wrestling title, that this girl's had forever. Here comes this guy who is now a female, fights her, takes the title away. Is that fair to say that a guy beat up a girl?
No.
Or did a girl beat up a girl?
She's the tranny champ. She's not the women's champ,
She's the training champ.
That's just my opinion. Touching every fifth
What do you
rail.
think?
Everyone's like, I'm going to leave that one alone. But
What do you think?
I feel like that's more of like a girl to call on that one. Like, no, that's unfair. But like from
See,
a guy
I think
standpoint,
I'm all for be who you want to be, right? Like if you're a guy and you feel like a girl and you want to like change your body to be a girl, I don't know that I'd feel comfortable. Like, let's just say I was a wrestler. I don't know that I'd want to fight another girl, a girl who used to be a guy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, wait, you've got some shit over me that,
That happened with two track dudes. And they both look like Usain Bolt. And they broke like every record. And
But
it was
they
like-
went female?
It was female. They
They
transitioned.
So they have female or like awards and trophies?
Yeah, they did. It was all called like women's, event. Hurdle, track, all
And
that.
they got a big ass Adam's apple.
Yeah, and mustache too. They just have like long hair.
They're
They-
like
they
Joanna
still
Man.
look exactly.
Well, yeah, that's where, like, in terms of that whole debate, is on one side, it's like you have to be sensitive and respect people's
Yeah, of
desires
course.
and
Yeah.
equality, like you said, like equality, and don't treat us any different, don't judge us or whatever, or I've transitioned, therefore I am type of thing. But then there's the other side where it's like, okay, you got them big ass shoulders though, bro. Like she said, like you didn't just undo, you know what I'm saying, like your musculature or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, that's.
I mean, and if you see the picture, the guy's got like the jaw, you know what I'm saying? And here's this feminine girl on the bottom being choked, and she's all like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
No
dang,
mercy.
no mercy, exactly. And I'm just thinking like, damn, that's kind of fucked up.
What if he
you
would have
know?
lost still?
That'd have been hilarious.
That's that what if.
I think if you cut it off, you can't do it. I think it's worth
What if it's that dude from GameStop?
That's your ticket in.
What dude from
That guy,
GameStop?
that transgender that freaked out in the GameStop. You didn't see that video? Come on, they called him like. It was like, it's ma'am, it's not sir, it's ma'am. You didn't see that video? I gotta pull it up for you guys later. But yeah,
Well, that's like that show on TLC that Jazz, I think her name, she's a girl from Pearland, or it was a boy, I'm sorry. She did the whole 9 yards though. So she's always felt like a girl, you know, even when she was a little boy. And she told her parents super supportive, allowed the hormones transition, everything. The last thing that I saw on the whenever I watched it was that she actually went to Miami to get. Remember I was telling you about this?
Booty implants.
No, her front booty. She got she got her stuff cut off, and it turned into a vagina,
The banana
right?
split.
And then the vagina kind of got a little bit of infected or something like that, to where it didn't happen. Like it like and it's a risk that you run. You know what I'm saying? My whole thing is
How old is she?
I think
Like
she's
a
high school.
teenager.
Yeah, I think she might be 15-ish.
And she's transitioning in public on her reality
show. Yeah. And you know what? The mom cries, right? Because not because her son wanted to become a girl, but because your child's going under surgery, a very, very, very serious surgery on top of that, because I guess whatever she was getting was pretty much like the newest way to get that done, which so many more risks come into play. And she was like crying. And then at the same time, her dad got sick, where he was got like a stroke or something. It was like crazy, but it was like props to that mom, because I don't, you know, like, how does she like just handle it? And the girl is, I mean, she's a cute little girl. I don't know what she looked like a boy. I've never seen pictures of what she looked like a boy, but she's not bad looking.
How old was she?
So she's about 14-ish or 15, something like she's
a 14-year-old boy wanted to be a girl at that age.
But she knew since a long time ago. Like it started a couple of years back. So her whole show has been like her through the process of like changing and you know, the whole 9 yards, you know?
Reality TV, bro. And then we saw another thing. It was a power lifter, bodybuilder dude. What was that, Netflix? Or
Oh, yeah.
it was called a Transformer or something like that. So it's like this huge jack dude that like won like strongest dude out of Michigan, like bodybuilder awards, like big ass motherfucker. And you see him putting on a little sports bra. That's how it starts. It's like this bodybuilder that's putting on this little spaghetti strap thing, putting on this little wig and stuff. And like, all right, well, I'm turning into what's the name? Because it shows how this bodybuilding YouTube channel basically called him out. Like, yeah, remember such and such? Well, he's got another Instagram under this other alter ego.
I started following her, and I don't remember her name.
So she competes with bodybuilding?
Well,
as a man.
He did.
Yeah.
And he has kids. He was married, like a whole bunch of stuff. But Marine, wasn't he like
ex-Marine, has 3 boys.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
His boys are accepting of.
They look like they were cool. Like that's their dad, but he putting on makeup right now. I don't mind him. But his dad was like very against it. Like, don't you come up here dressed like no woman, boy. And then he went and met up with his mom and went dressed.
And he went as the girl,
like dressed as like in character or whatever.
How was the mom? She was cool.
She was like kind of halfway, like it's sorry, mijo, like that type of thing. Like this is I'm not used to. What did she say? I know you, like whatever the guy's name is, not Janae or whatever the little name was.
Oh, I think that is her name, babe.
Something
Good job.
like that.
Good job.
Good job.
Just maybe put Transformer or something like that.
Transformer.
No, I think that's the name of it. But yeah, that shit's
Optimus Prime.
Yeah, that shit's interesting, bro. That shit's
And so like he's felt like that forever. Like he's felt like
maybe take the S off. Mm-hmm.
He's felt like, you know what I'm saying, forever he's felt like a female, even when he was such a basically all the like manly stuff that he would do was to kind of fight that urge because he didn't want to feel those feelings.
But he said he liked bodybuilding and all that because he'd still be in there with the little wig, just put some more 45s on that bitch.
That part don't go
And then
away.
when he it's crazy because when he's getting like he's gonna go lift, like him and his boys are in there and they're like, come on, and they're like slapping each other.
So he's
like,
still a man's man. That's what was super interesting.
So is it more like a cross-dressing kind of thing?
No, he's considering not only that, he didn't really say if he was bi. He didn't really say what he was into.
He wouldn't want to transition and lose all them gains, you know?
I think he said he wishes he was, what is it? He loves to lift, but he wishes he could be a little bit more like, because the motherfucker's a fucking refrigerator. Like,
so he actually, what he did was part of it on there was that he was going to go get the jawline done smaller because of all, the lifting and so
and
forth.
The roids.
The jaw, the roids, the jaw's so big, and so he went and tried to get that cut off, and then some little boobies. But I mean, his pants look cute. He got a little booty, so he looked like.
He just don't know if he want to get the front booty made. The surgical. Go ahead, turn this into a front booty.
Yeah, they don't know. That's what he doesn't know. That's what I call it.
I think that would be unfair to them. If he's like competing in sports, somebody who is like a big athletic person.
But I think he's like retired from all that shit.
He's retired. So what he does is like seminars, and now he judges like powerlifting competitions.
And he went in
and he
wig.
goes in there with his wig. I mean,
all right, yeah, lower.
But what I was telling Pete is like
good.
looks like
good rep racket.
Yeah, when
racket.
he's got and then he went to, I think it was like the Philippines, maybe somewhere in Asia. I can't remember. Where there's like a doctor that can change your voice so that, because obviously he can't change that deep voice. So they showed the surgery where they cut off like that little piece so that he can start sounding a little bit more soft and not so like.
But imagine you go to a powerlifting seminar and then G.I. Jane over here comes out and trying to instruct you. Are you just going to be like,
well, they had footage,
this?
right, boo? They had footage. And I don't know if that was a side, like this other mini competition within a larger thing, but I think what it was is he went to that. Yeah, that's old boy right there.
It looks like Ken from Street Fighter.
But doesn't it just look like it does? He can almost get away with like those girls that do like steroids.
If he wasn't so goddamn huge, fucking big ass shoulders, bro. Come on.
But do y'all see? Look at the jawline now. Like it totally got.
It's less of a leg.
Like, he look like an old lady.
Let me show y'all what it was
a
before.
Swole ass old lady.
I mean,
no.
Yes.
He's posting all that.
Yeah.
Man, he putting thirst trap. He being a little thought. Like, sir, are you trying? Sir, did she just zoom in on it? Hey man, he want to transition into a thought.
He got a booty. Look at him.
Can you stop zooming in?
She goes like,
she caught me with
away.
it again. She's like, vroom, vroom.
Hold up, wait a minute.
So look at this. He does his like when he's a man, and then when he like transforms,
he just crops out them big ass shoulders.
From here, he looks like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. So I think it's
like
on
Brock
Netflix.
Lesnar.
It's a lot of interesting shit. Like half the time, Luis, that's what we talk about. It's just like
Netflix
stuff. Yeah, stuff motherfucker be watching and shit. But man, comedy. How's this year going for you, man? Because I mean, you every year you've been growing and growing.
It's been great, man. I've been on the road more lately.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, just getting shows mostly out of town. I think I'm feeling like I have to go out of town to get work, pretty much.
What do you mean?
I still do local stuff back in Dallas, but I feel like most
you
of
feel
my
like
shows
you too
are out of
popping.
town.
You too popping for that shit?
Nah, it's go on, let other people see me, type thing. Expand. And plus, that's really all the work I've been getting is out of town. Okay. Little bar shows here back at home. Do open mics, of course.
Are you putting yourself out there? How are they hearing about you?
Damn,
Instagram, I guess.
Is that the wine purse talking?
Whatever show I do, I'll promote myself afterwards.
Yeah.
That's been the hardest part, I think, because I focused so much on the comedy for so long.
Which you should, though, because at the end of the day, man, like, it's one thing to go out there and promote yourself, but it's good that you have the fucking jokes to back it up. Like, you have an act, you have a routine. Like, you're working on the craft But I think what you're probably trying to say is like there's that other side of the business where I'm focusing so much on the craft that there's other tasks that need to.
Yeah, all the big shows I've ever gotten have come from somebody seeing me and be like, "Hey, I like your stuff. Can you do this spot?" And then from that spot, I work in a weekend with Paul Rodriguez or something, and that's what happened, you know. Nice. And then like that show with Midnight, you know, me and Midnight worked together for a long time, and then when I met you, from that show, look, we just did Miami and we did Midland and stuff like that. So I mean, it all came from me really working on my comedy. Somebody seeing me thinking that's funny. Most of your work comes from other comedians. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, work begets work, and yes. Comics, that network is.
You know, one thing that they were talking on Joey D is I think it was another comedian that said this, babe, something about in the comedy world it's a little bit more of a support system where you may say, hey dude, I got to connect at this club. If you want, I could connect you to that person if you want to try to get in. And because they were saying how in other entertainment fields it doesn't work that way, but in comedy it does. So I guess would you feel that it kind of does?
That's how it should be.
Yeah, it should be like that. It is like that for the most part. But when I feel like a middle child in the comedy scene, and especially from like the Dallas comedy scene, because when I started like going on 6 years, next month will be 6 years, there was a lot of people that lived in the city and they all moved away. They went to LA. And then it kind of brought in a whole new scene of younger people that had just started. So I feel like I knew the people that were there before, and then like now these newer people, and like sometimes as far as identity issues go, but I always just focus on myself because I think that's the best way to represent comedy is to get really funny.
Yeah, exactly.
And if we focus too much on other things, then we stop focusing on the comedy. That's the only thing that's going to be around.
Yeah,
you got to make sure. I agree 100% because we're artists. And at the end of the day, man,
if your craft ain't right, ain't nobody gonna go watch you.
Yeah, focus on the technique, for sure.
Chingo, what would you tell like up and coming comics that like what should you focus?
Me, I am an up and coming comic.
What would you tell them to focus on when you are going out there and putting yourself when you don't have an existing platform? You know, like we were talking about it earlier with Live Nation. Like there was a platform, you pivoted comedy, but someone that doesn't have anything like didn't have a rap career before,
like getting your name out.
Yeah, what would you do to make sure that when you're in that city again? People are going to know you're back in that city again.
Social media. You got to
now
like...
especially, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing that I tell you guys all the time. I tell all the comics afterwards. And even whenever like we're at the merch table and I think I've said this on the podcast before and fans come up to the guys and they're like, man, you guys were hilarious. I'm like, you can also find them on, where can they find you, Midnight? Or where can they find you, Javi? Because I think that they're so shy or maybe they weren't expecting the compliment when they come up to you, that they're kind of more like grateful, like thank you for thank you for the compliment, that they forget to now say, hey, you can also find me.
Yeah,
that's
here.
a new thing for me.
Yeah,
that's a really new thing for me. I even started putting it on my shirts now when I sell shirts for that reason, because internet is the future. I mean, everything.
Sure.
If you get booked, it's based off of your following.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm working on.
And that's what I tell. That's what I like tell the guys all the time. I'm like, because they'll make comments like, man, I wish you would just help us out, and why don't you help us find the gigs? Sure, I have no problem. I've told them this many of times. I'd love to do it for all the guys that roll with us, but what's my selling point right now for you guys? Like, I can't say, well, he's got this thing happening right now on YouTube, or he's got like 100,000 followers, or you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know where this, except for saying he's fucking funny and he rolls with us.
And he was on the Chingo Bling podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Besides that, I don't know what my other selling point
it's like
would
Rogan,
be.
baby.
That's right, Latin Rogan.
Yeah.
Oh shit. No,
that's
but
a credit.
The Paisa Joe Rogan, Jose Rogan.
No, but I said that kind of to just lead into don't sleep on email. Like comedians, like or anybody in here, musicians especially. Like when you go to a show and at their merch table, they still have clipboards. Like give me your email, because that is not content, but that's information you own. Mm-hmm. They gave you their email or their phone number. That's your database.
And I'm sorry, I cut you off, babe. So maybe you can answer that question. I didn't mean to cut you off. Well, he asked like, what piece of advice?
Yeah. Make sure you're doing, for new up and coming comedians, to make sure people know where you at, what you're doing.
Yeah, let me think.
I feel like we're back at Live Nation. They were giving Chingo all these questions, like he was just like having to come up with these answers.
Yeah. Honestly, if I had to, sometimes I would even focus on the game of comedy in a way. In terms, for some people, it might be a few tweaks. Like really, a lot of the stuff Rick is showing me is something that a lot of open micers and just up and comers can benefit from. And sometimes it's hard to apply, but like things like you gotta enunciate, like maybe it's a little bit more energy, or like they didn't hear you. And
it's true.
Hold the mic like this, move the mic like this.
Yeah, it is true because observing the way Rick kind of coaches when he comes on the road with us. The other night at Open, when we had the show, I was to explain to him like, oh, I just remembered everything kind of Rick said, and as these guys were performing, I was like, damn, he's doing all the things Rick suggests not to do on stage. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I'm not going to go up to them and be like, you know what? You should probably not do that joke because it's just not really like, I'm not going to do that because who the fuck am I? You know what I'm saying?
Mitzi.
Yeah, but at the same time, I pay attention. It may seem like I'm not, but 99% of the time, this other ear is listening while this one's doing something else. So
that's how she talks to me all the time.
Yeah.
Well, there's still fundamentals to comedy.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
little stuff, knowing how to grab the mic,
Yeah.
not to roll the cord, and like just little stuff like that you kind of pick up on.
Because it can go a long way. Yeah, just a small tweaks here and there can yield, big.
But I still think it's like a magic wand. Like when you just say you get a magic wand and you learn how to use it, you're not going to create the ultimate magic. That's going to come with you learning how to do it. And that's kind of what stand-up is. Like you're creating this weird... I've had people come up to me like, man, I've never heard your style of comedy before. Mm-hmm. And when they tell me stuff like that, that's what makes me feel so good, is the originality.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to be as original as possible.
Sure.
And that's why I like Chingo stuff so much, because it's very personal based. You can't hack that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You hear somebody tell jokes and you're like, man, I've heard that before.
Or it's
maybe
like
not
a
the same
generic
joke,
thing.
but it's the same type of joke kind of thing.
Or type of simple concept.
But I also think we're also another generation of Mexican comics talking about Mexican stuff in a different way that's not the old hacky type. Yeah,
because it's like our parents have become Americanized. Does that make sense?
My mom is on Facebook.
Yeah, like our parents are still like, okay, like my mom told me the other day, she's like, I have 2 phones now. When she came over, I was like, you've got 2 phones? Why? She goes, well, because...
I was about to say, she's Kevin Gates? What's going on?
And I was like, what?
And then she said, I don't get tired.
I was like, what do you have 2 phones for? I said, who?
One for the hose.
Yeah, exactly.
One for the plug, one for the lube.
Exactly. I was like, she really has 2, but she goes, well, I had already paid this one off, which was another iPhone. She's like, and...
I feel like, splurging.
Why do I need to trade in my phone if it's mine? She's like, when they were offering me another one, a brand new one, she got the 10. And it was going to be like a better deal. She's like, so I just keep this phone that I paid for. And I was like, that doesn't even make sense. I don't get it.
That's a cover up.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, that's odd. But anyway, going back to what you're saying is, I think even though our parents are immigrants, I think, or at least ours are, I don't know if yours are,
well, mom's from Mexico. My dad was born in Texas.
Okay, so I feel like my mom, for example, is so Americanized now. She doesn't really do a lot of the traditional things that, probably my grandmother would have done.
Definitely way more assimilated now.
Yeah, I mean, even my grandmother's on Facebook, like...
She's Snapchatting and everything?
She's not Snapchatting, but she's definitely Facebooking. And
she's
it's
going live on Facebook. Yeah.
She has a podcast.
All the way from Reynosa.
Live from Reynosa, Tamaulipas.
Yeah, so I totally agree with that. They were not talking about the chancla, or we're not talking about,
it's not that no more.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe versions of it, but I think everybody's a little more original.
Yeah.
Has their chance to be more original now. And if you're not being, then you don't know how to write comedy, I guess.
So, L.A. or New York?
Man, that's a hard question, man.
That's what I like to ask comedians.
We've talked before about that, I think, about we could do it without moving to L.A. Or New York. Mm-hmm. But if I had to pick L.A., probably. It's nicer weather.
I had a question for y'all. Being the performer or being a writer?
You mean the writing or the performing?
Yeah, most enjoyable, most desirable. You enjoy the writing process and writing, or you enjoy the performing? more?
Well, right now, to me, sometimes writing depends on how comfortable you are with it. I'm still kind of in that phase where it's still kind of work, and it's a pain. Not a pain, but performing, once you're prepared and you have a good script, then, that can be fun once you, know it and it's kind of, done. My shit is a constant work in motion. So there's, new parts. There's parts I'm cutting. There's, edits, constant edits. But then that's a hard question, man, performing and writing.
I mostly, focus on the writing part of it, but I feel like sometimes it makes me lazy because I'm relying on the punchlines that I wrote. So sometimes when I'm like, I know this is going to hit because I know it's a good written joke. And then sometimes it feels like I'm being lazy by just I'm reading off a piece of paper or something, and I forget that there's a performance part to it. So I'm trying to become a better performer right now.
Do you want me to tell you what I personally? There's things that I like about all the comedians that wrote with us, but one of the things that I liked about Luis was that what was that? I think
it's his name. That's all I like.
It was he doesn't really have a lot of facial expression, right? 99% of the time, you're talking to him, he's just kind of answering your questions. He's not really he was very quiet when I first met him.
Very stoic.
Yeah. And then when he got on stage, it was this whole different person. I was like, whoa, okay. He moves his mouth a lot bigger on stage than he does when he talks to you like this in person, because it doesn't really move.
It's funny you say that, because the reason I asked the question was because you seem like you enjoy the writing process, getting in, into the muse and letting it kind of all come out.
But he's on stage though. He's different. He actually he's actually a bigger person on stage, which is crazy. That wasn't what I was expecting when I first saw him, because
think it's a switch.
Yeah, I agree, because I was like, okay, most of the time I'm able to have a conversation with just anybody, and even if they're pretty quiet, I can get them to kind of chit chat with me. But he was giving me really one-word answers or one sentence. I was like, damn, this guy's really shy. Okay, I don't know if he can roll with us, if he's just not gonna give us that, become family. Everybody, we all roll together. We're like, oh, what's going on in Europe? Oh man, can you believe? You know what I'm saying? We kind of know all each other's business because we roll with each other. You know what I'm saying? So with him, it was kind of okay, well, it's not really. And then he got on stage. I was like, okay, well, that's a different person. And he's hilarious on stage. He's hilarious.
Hilarious.
I feel like Vin Diesel was talking. It's all about family. It's all about family. You're right, though.
It really is. Y'all are been the most welcoming people for sure.
Oh, thanks.
It does feel like a family, especially now. Because me and Midnight have known each other for a while, but here lately, I feel like when we hang out and we talk, we're so much funnier together.
Yeah.
Because our comedy's starting to sync up. We realize who can do what, who can do what.
He actually just said that the other day. He's like, I really enjoy writing with them. I really want to go back to making it a weekly, going.
I'm the one that dropped the ball.
Yeah.
One day we got on the call. We focused on a Luis joke idea and try to give him perspective, right, on notes on it. And then the next time we got on the phone, we focused on Midnight's joke ideas and helped him with that. And then it was supposed to be my turn, but the current idea that I kind of had pending working on, it's kind of a long story, and I had already filmed it. I was like, let me get them this clip. They could probably just watch the clip, and then we have notes. But right when this podcast is over, I need to run it by them. But we had some good momentum because we had a good time in Florida, and
that basketball game I think helped a lot.
Yeah,
we got out there, we're playing around. It's kind of
that's why when we build Chingo Estates, where it's like an office, with
the compound.
Yeah, the compound, because I'm like, hey, we might have to put a half court little basketball thing just in case after this, you take a break or you're busy writing a sitcom pilot or what have you.
That would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Table
Get
tennis.
some creativity going.
Like a startup.
Yeah.
That's kind of what a startup's supposed to.
Yeah.
What you're supposed to have.
Slides that lead into ball pits, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Had this bitch looking like Amazon.
Hey.
Like you worked at Google. Like we a tech company.
That is the goal. Yeah,
we're trying to keep it moving. But she was giving you props, and I like how your mind works. Like your comedy, some of the shit is outlandish, it's silly, smart. Like the thing about the the Marvel joke or whatever, the hero, that shit is super smart. And then your mind sometimes goes into this little universe. You just be painting a picture. It's like, fuck, is this a sketch or is this a joke? And it's like, whoa, wait, you said, then the mom says, what?
Yeah, man, It's all distorted.
I
comedy.
want the kind of weed you be smoking.
Do you think the fact that you were a English major kind of helped your writing skills, or you already had the writing skills, which is why you felt like I might as well just major in like?
Yeah, well, I feel like when I started taking classes, like when I was majoring in English, or I still am, it made me realize it's all bullshit. Like the way we speak, the way we talk. We can say whatever we want, like especially comedy language. I like comedy language so much because it doesn't make sense. Like even when I'm saying, it's like I have a joke where it's like literally a setup, and then you're like a word. Yeah, a setup and a word. It's like, where's the worst place to get a hickey? It's like prison, and it doesn't make sense. You know.
Well, wait. What do you mean?
Yeah.
So, hold on.
That makes a lot of sense actually.
Hold on, get a lot of hickeys there.
What do you mean by like the way people talk is bullshit and comedy talk? What do you mean?
Okay, I guess because my mom speaks only Spanish, and like just between her and my girl doesn't speak any Spanish, and they still find a way to communicate.
Yeah,
it's all about communication. English is a language that's like snobby. You know, it's like, oh, if you don't talk like this, or if you don't put a comma here, you don't do that, you're not doing it the right way. But in actuality, that's all bullshit because it's all about communication. Does that make sense?
So you're saying the priority should be context and
getting
meaning.
the message across.
Getting the message across.
Yeah.
It's not so much about setup and stuff. But majoring in English helped me like write longer jokes and knowing how to like use adverbs and.
What is an adverb?
Like it's like a like a word that helps like
the verb.
That helps. It could be like
it's
like an adjective.
It's like you agitating
something.
The verb.
Yeah.
Adverb.
It usually ends in ly. You know.
Like hardly. Like I barely understand.
Yeah, it's like extremely good instead of opposed to this is good.
Good. Yeah.
Oh.
It describes
adding those little words.
It describes
helps so much.
Extremely good.
Yeah, it's extremely good. That one word, man, adds so much stuff.
So it's just good. Yeah.
My comedy inspiration is very like I used to watch The Simpsons a lot growing up.
Oh yeah.
And you know, of course, a lot of cartoon based stuff, and then weird movies.
You like South Park?
South Park was funny.
Family Guy.
I just saw a new South Park where it was funny as shit. It was basically about like they show all the hicks like Middle America like they're stealing our gerbs, taking our gerbs, but they're talking about Alexa, they're talking about tech gadgets and Google Home and Amazon. Yeah. So I don't think I finished the episode, but they were like having like their little clan meeting and their little like rally because they're stealing our gerbs, which is super smart and insightful because it's true. I was telling Marisol, like, you see how Amazon opened it up to America and they were like, hey, what city should we go to? And then all these cities across America were like, we have great school districts and fishing. There's a beach nearby. Or we have the logistics we have a good subway system. Like they were all courting Amazon, right? And I think the ones, they announced who was in the runnings. They were like, we're looking at either Long Island City, Queens, or something else, right? So these local politicians out there in New York were like, wait a minute, bro. You need us more than we need you. You're promising all these jobs because there's going to be all these like janitorial and just tech, like you name it. But we've seen what you've done in other cities where you just bring in all these like tech motherfuckers and you take away the cool from the Bay Area. And there's like doo-doo on the ground in the sidewalk in San Francisco. But
it has to do also with the taxes or something.
Yeah, like Amazon's not paying taxes. Basically, the reason I tie it into South Park is because Uber and Lyft, they're putting so much of their money into trying to go driverless. Why? Because they feel like they're not making enough profit because so much of it to them goes to the driver. But yeah, the drivers are complaining that Uber and Lyft, takes too much. Yeah. So my point is, you let them come into your town, and then they're just waiting to go robotic or automated. And before you know it, there's this huge business in your city, but they ain't really hiring nobody, if that makes sense.
Autonomous.
Like they're just autonomous. They're ready to cut you out. But
South Park's fucking hilarious. And they make some of the best like topical kind of like
for sure. Yeah.
It's so funny.
Because at the beginning of that episode, it was like he was hanging out with his boys, right? And they were playing with Alexa. And then here comes the girlfriend. And they're all like, he's like, Like basically like, what the fuck do you want? Like I'm hanging out with my boys, you know? It's just like,
hilarious.
what are you mad for? It's like, I'm not mad. I'm hanging out. It's like,
I think it was Cartman.
Yeah.
It's
Have you seen it?
No, I
you got to
haven't.
learn how to what is it, something about your emotions, right? He's like, but I'm not mad because, but you know, this is the girl now
Yeah.
telling him like, that's the reason why we argue is because you don't know how to communicate. But you know, he was just like, it was like, it's
So
just
the Alexa?
No. So basically, they painted the picture of like this stereotypical but like relatable relationship argument where the girl, he's like, hey, hang on, guys, and it's my girl, and they're like, or something.
because they've been playing with Alexa, like Alexa, Simon says,
you know,
poopy
whatever,
butt or something like
stinky
that.
balls, something, and Alexa was repeating it. So anyway, she's at the door, and he's like, hey, what's up? Like already his demeanor's different. She's like, well, what's wrong? He's like, nothing's wrong. I mean, I was just hanging out with my friends, but we always act like something's wrong. It's like, something's wrong. You need to tell me. No, nothing's wrong. Like she was saying. But it was hilarious because it was like this awkward little.
That Carmen sounded a lot like Mickey, by the way. Your voice for Mickey.
How did I go? Oh shit! I don't know how I'd be doing.
And it's funny though because then his friends were like, "Yeah, we're gonna go now." He's like, "Why, fellas?" Like it was just hilarious. Like,
yeah, they're
where
like,
you guys-
"Yeah, we're gonna leave now." Like it got awkward. It was funny.
It's hilarious. Yeah.
How old are you?
30.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Just curious. No, well, like a Simpsons reference is like, yeah, I figured somebody like 30 or under maybe would say that was a big inspiration to.
Shit, Simpsons been around
Spinners
since.
is a long,
For sure.
way longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Easily
saw
my favorite. I'm very inspired from The Simpsons and The Sopranos. Like those are the two things that I watched the most growing up.
Sopranos. Huh.
Did you ever watch that show?
Yeah.
I watched a
Great
few
show.
episodes. I'm not saying it was a bad show. I just never
I
really
wanna
sat down and
binge-
talked
I
about
wanna
it.
binge
Never sat and
something.
watched it.
We need to binge something together, and even if it's something like
Game of Thrones.
old.
Nah, I tried to get into Game of
Thrones
Thrones.
is
Damn.
HBO.
Yeah.
Do we have that?
Yeah, we have that HBO on the or Go
HBO
or
Go,
Go,
yeah.
something like that.
Oh, I didn't know
Or
we paid
HBO
for
now.
that. I didn't.
You didn't like it?
What?
I know we paid for that. Well, we watched the first episode like twice. Like we watched it one night, and then we probably went to sleep confused, and then like weeks later we tried watching it again.
Well, you had to explain to me. Remember, I asked you. I'm like, okay, so
I mean,
the little boy that saw her, they're brothers, and they're having sex. I was like,
Oh yeah, a lot of incest.
A lot of
that,
incest.
right? You watch it? You
Yeah,
caught
yeah.
up?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna binge watch it. when I
Dude,
get back.
so good.
Luis, what do you feel in the 6 years you've been doing comedy has been like the one time you got on stage, you're like, fuck, none of this shit I said today worked. Like none of the shit I said tonight worked on stage. Where you didn't get that feedback, that laugh.
me at the joke joint 2 weeks ago.
How often or what?
When, like, has that ever happened to you when you've been on stage to where you're like, shit, I didn't
very
bomb a
first
little
time.
bit, but I bombed like the entire set.
Well, the very first time I got on stage, and I was writing for a long time, for like a good year and a half before I even decided to do stand up.
Wow.
And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, and I was practicing it for
It's
a long
too
time.
pre-planned.
And then the second I got up, it's like, oh yeah, stand up's nothing like what I thought it was gonna be like. Kind of.
How quickly after that fell did you get back on stage?
So you just didn't deliver it right?
No, it just didn't make sense. I
the
didn't know how to
writing.
do a setup. I didn't know how to do a pun. I mean, you know,
you were just writing like topics or
Yeah, I was working on an impression. I was trying to do because I thought that's all it was is impressions and like stupid like
Yeah,
street
yeah.
jokes and stuff like
Sure,
that.
yeah.
You don't know, you know. I did like an Obama ordering a sandwich impression. Like that was the whole thing. It's like, Obama walks into like a Subway and I'm like, give me the club on wheat. And it was trying to get like the way Obama talks because Obama's still president at the time. And like people were like just looking at me. Dude.
what's
Like
the
it didn't
point?
make. They're like, what? I got on a week later, and I actually got laughs because the open mic started 2 hours later, and I had showed up like. The open mic started at 8 normally, so you have to get there like at 6:30 to sign up.
to get on? Yeah.
But it started later that night, like at 10. So I got there like at 6 something, thinking that, you know, I could sign up. So I was one of the first people on the list. So I got a good spot on the open mic. Rewrote a lot of jokes, went up, and I got laughs.
Rewrote because someone told you now the right structure. You asked around, or you just kind of figured out that your structure for the first jokes you did were just not how they're supposed to be.
Pretty much, yeah, that. Where I was like, I did so bad that I was like, oh man, I felt so pressured to be like, I don't want to not go up there and not get laughs because then
Yeah.
I'm gonna quit. I'm like, I'm not gonna do this. So I really focused on something. I did get feedback the first time I did stuff, like certain jokes that I still do now, but they were very in the early stages. Went back, rewrote those a whole bunch of times, like 20 times. Like one joke, I rewrote it like 20 times.
Just for like memorization purposes?
I recorded my first set, and then I went back and I watched it and I was like, okay, that kind of got a chuckle. Let me just stay on that.
Yeah.
And then from that, I turned it into, which now was a closer of mine, where I do like this church joke about like the Catholic priest and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that was on the second time I went up. But as far as like when I started doing regular shows, man, it's been a while since I really felt like, oh, none of this works. Bar shows.
Was that theater we did in El Paso, was that the first theater?
First theater, yeah.
And did that throw you off, or?
It was different because there were so many people there, and I didn't know that, like I would tell a joke and then it would take, like the crowd, it would go as a wave. And I was like nervous at the same time. So I was like trying to go into the next joke without letting the audience fully enjoy the joke.
Yeah, and you got off a stage early too. Remember? I was like, what happened? Oh, that was my time. I was like,
oh, yeah.
No, you still had 5 more minutes. I think
man.
You were like, okay, I was
definitely submerged. Midland was the second one I did, which is the one we just did, the second real theater. And I felt like I did a lot better this time.
Oh, yeah, for
well,
sure.
you get used to it, right? Like
yeah,
the first time is out the way.
I did the Houston Improv, too, and that was like 400 people when that one was sold out. So that El Paso show helped me for that. Or was that before? I remember. Yeah. Either way, theaters are different. Theaters are different. They seem so far apart.
But that Houston Improv, it's a mini theater.
Yeah.
Basically. Mm-hmm. We're actually going to go check out Joey Diaz out there.
Yeah, Friday.
Nice.
I can't wait.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. So do you listen to a lot of podcasts? Or?
I listen to this podcast on the way down.
Of course, you had to say that, right?
Well, I do listen to this one.
Put
I
you on
like
the
this
spot.
one. I listen to a Kill Tony podcast on the way down. Shay Serrano? He has a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He has a podcast called Villains. Have you ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Where like they do an episode. It's like a different villain from like a different movie, and they kind of just talk about that.
Oh, wow.
I like a lot of like subject stuff. Like we're like, let's talk
Stick
about
to the
this.
topic.
Let's talk. Like one of the episodes is like Chong Li, like from Bloodsport, and they were talking about how good of a villain he is. Stuff like that.
Yeah, he was. That's one of my favorite movies from the 80s.
So what do you like about our podcast? I just
What's your favorite part about it?
What's your favorite part about it? I'm just
Can't
curious.
compliment us one time.
Right?
It's my favorite podcast.
He did mention that when y'all weren't in here, though. When it was just
Yeah.
him and I. He did
Oh,
say, I was like,
man.
oh, cool.
I listened to Juan Villarreal one, and
Oh, yeah.
what was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
The Mo Amir one. That one was really good.
Mo Amir was good. He dropped some knowledge.
Yeah,
So did Chris Stefano.
That was probably one of my favorites. Him
Yeah,
and Mo
him.
were so funny.
Yeah, and they're blowing up big time.
Yeah.
They're blowing up, man. They
Could say they had the Chingo effect,
Nah,
Yeah.
they put in a lot of work.
Some solid, funny people.
They've been doing comedy for many years.
I'd like for Chingo to try to go. You know how we're doing LA this year. I'd like for you to go New York next year and try to hit the open mics. I just think, and the only reason why I think that is because, in my opinion, I think the jokes that Chingo took out there when he did the East Coast were maybe not as relatable as Mexicans everywhere else. Did you not feel like that?
Was this a couple years ago?
A couple of years ago, yeah.
Well, their culture, like, it's a little different. So New York just has a little bit different culture. So you have to maybe take that into account sometimes, But if your comedy's like super solid, then you shouldn't really have a problem. But I wonder if they have like some improv classes out there, because that's what I want to do. I want to like beef up my performance skills from different angles, like acting classes, public speaking, like all improv, put all that shit together. That's how I kind of like to think of it, especially for the performance side. Like, because in acting, a lot of times there is a such thing as overacting. And sometimes in a bit, like you can like kind of overly milk it to where it's just like, okay, you're pandering or whatever.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Improv would be good. I think the more Mexicans that I meet and are funny, the easier it is to become funny. Like for us, like when we were just freestyling, it's hard for me to like think about doing improv because I always think of like hipster white dudes and stuff. I'm like, I don't know if I could like trip out and really be myself. And like we were basically doing improv, and it's just we're freestyle rapping because we're hip hop.
yeah.
definitely hip hop culture raised.
Yeah.
I don't want to be out there and be like, hey guys, this and that. Nah, it's like, nah, motherfucker, let's this and that. And then like, me and Midnight are really good about tripping out together because we'll start doing. He does a lot of black voice for some reason, and,
which is less controversial than blackface.
Yeah, it's a lot less, but it's still kind of racist, I guess. But
Midnight kind of just was born
Midnight
with
thinks
black
he's
voice.
black.
yeah, he's like,
He thinks he's part black because he grew up in a black
No,
neighborhood.
he says he used to think he was black
Oh, he
because
used
he
to
didn't know.
think
He
he was
just
black,
thought
that's right.
people were people, and he just thought that his friends were like him, and they spoke Spanish at home and ate frijoles. But you know,
it's about finding people you can riff with.
Yeah.
And I'm
Good
starting to feel
hang.
like I'm finally starting to get certain friends, comedy friends, that are like, oh, okay, yeah, let's trip out. And
yeah.
it doesn't have to make sense. Comedy doesn't make sense.
Have you guys ever heard like when they say it's all about the hang, man? Like everybody we roll with, they're cool, they're funny, they're cool to hang out with. Nobody's like tripping. But like you guys in particular, like the hang is super cool, and then just like you said, riffing. And our writing sessions when we get on the phone and stuff, but like the loosening up before. Because like I said earlier in the beginning, at Midland, we were there 2 hours early, started getting a little antsy. And then there was like some miscommunication issues with the sound booth. And I got a little like rattled and overwhelmed. It's like, all right, let's find an improv game. I was like, we don't know any. Because I haven't done improv in years. And it's like, we can freestyle rap. That was our improv, like growing up.
Yeah, we're back there stretching.
The school bus.
Like, let's ready to jump in.
We used to do improv stories with Mickey to go to bed. We used to do that. So we would start like once
There
upon
once
a time.
was a butterfly.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
it's like,
And then it was like the next
flew into
person's
town.
turn, and we would kind of just keep going until the end of the story. And that was pretty cool, I felt.
Yeah.
So we,
But I guess the main thing I was trying to say is the importance of playing and having fun. So this is part of my little high speech when we were in the green room, right, in the dressing room. I was basically saying, like, when we have our script and we rehearse and we practice, that's kind of like you have your instrument, which is you have your script, which is the notes, and either you can go out there and just play the notes exactly and it's, hey, okay, you did it, it was good, or you can fucking like do some Jimi Hendrix Star Spangled Banner shit where it's like you're playing and you're shredding and you're performing and you're giving people an inspired, like you're a fan of John Mayer. Like I'm sure, I haven't really like seen him live or anything, but I'm sure he knows how to connect with people because his soul and his instrument, that's what I'm trying to do basically with the stage.
I'm glad you actually made that comparison because I was going to bring up Mayer before you did, which is weird, kind of weird. But
Interesting.
he has
because that's all you
because
think
we do
about.
that every
Hey,
episode.
because that's all Rob thinks about.
it's up there.
Hey, we finally go to his house. It's like a John Mayer shrine and shit.
Hey man, why are you cracking jokes?
No.
Cool.
When he wakes up in the morning, it's
take
the
it
first
down.
picture he sees
Yeah.
right next to his nightstand.
Don, take it down.
They're coming over.
Chingo's coming over. Can you hide all my Luke Perry and
R.I.P.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Yes.
Go ahead.
No, he has an elasticity on the guitar, on his instrument, that's why he can work with Jay-Z and work with Alicia Keys and then do the blues and do the pop stuff. Meanwhile, I think people like you guys, what you're referring to that I'm noticing is you have an elasticity on stage where you can bend the note to a different crowd. And
Trying to.
Yeah, and exactly. And that's important.
So what part of my little speech to the guys is like, when people ask me, hey man, have you played DC or have you played Miami or whatever it is? I want to be able to say, yes, I played in that venue and that stage was my sandbox.
Yeah.
So what I want to give people is, one way to look at it is like, wow, you got paid to play and use your imagination, but without fun and imagination, you're giving people a boring product. Because, when you do really good act outs and when you instinctively tag your joke up or riff, that comes from imagination. You have to take yourself there. Or like when an actor gives a good performance, that's what I want to get to, is just why, like for instance, the reason we take vitamins and exercise and meditate and shit like that is because I got to take care of my instrument. If my instrument is stressed, that means the wires on the guitar are too tight and it's going to break. So,
Well, even Luis said the other day when we were out of town, he's like, I got to do better at taking care of my body.
I do.
everybody. Everybody.
He's
does.
like, I treated like garbage.
I think that might affect me probably like off stage because I save all my energy for the stage. Like the second the day starts, I'm literally in low power mode. Like, like it's like green and then it's like yellow. You know, when you
On your phone.
on my phone, like type thing. Because I'm like, I need to conserve everything I have.
Oh, damn.
Because when I get on stage, it's like, all right, how we doing, everybody?
Yeah,
Y'all doing
yeah,
all
yeah.
right? Let's go
Yeah,
there. See, that blew me out right there. That's like a gasket. It's like not running for years and then taking off running. And it's like, no, you can't do this. What the hell are you trying?
So
Actually, that's the thing that Rick said, too.
what'd he say?
It's like when you don't like exercise or you're not healthy as far as like breathing and stuff on stage and being active
He said
and
it's
performing,
gonna
it affects you in the long run.
You
Yeah.
know what? That's right. When we were in Wichita, we did that show last year. We worked out that morning, and I felt like I had one of my best shows ever. And we did 2 shows, and it was just because I felt so much energized. But
Oh yeah, we were high and we worked out.
But remember, you were sore like hell the next day?
yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So earlier, the question was, what advice would you give up and coming artists? And I'm gonna go add to my answer, which is you have to take care of yourself. And sometimes they may seem expensive, like oh man, but it's really just habits. Like a push-up don't cost you no money.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that has to be your habit, or a glass of water doesn't have to be expensive yet, right? In our country, but that can be part of a habit.
Unless you're drinking Voss water.
Yeah, it's in a glass bottle. Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever you do, like yoga doesn't have to cost money. Meditation doesn't cost money. Reading, going for a walk, whatever it is to make sure your mental health is good, that your relationships are healthy, because you don't want to be the artist that has so much bullshit happening around him that he can't even focus on his goddamn craft. Because you got like a nagging ass girlfriend, or you got your parents harassing you about something because you're not paying for your own bills, and so that means you might have to get a part-time to relieve some of that stress. And I know a lot of fighters and athletes go through that. Like say you're a young MMA dude, same thing. You're trying to focus on your opponent. You're focusing on that jiu-jitsu move or your ground game or whatever. You can't be distracted by the homeboys that are just draining you, like all these unnecessary just bad shit. In other words, you got to get out of your own way and don't. We already have hurdles. You know what I'm saying? We already have hurdles. Like, don't add any more. That's kind of part of my advice. And that's why I drink Athletic Greens. It is insurance. It has probiotics.
Antioxidants.
But, like, for instance, sometimes people make little comments or they don't understand. Where like, oh, well, you just going to go to the gym. Or you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's not productive or something like that. Or some of the hippie shit. You know, I'm damn near 40. And, so some of the hippie shit we do, you have to make time for yourself. I sound like Oprah, right? Like, you need that me time. You need to get in the sauna. But all that shit's so important, man.
Oh, I can't get in the sauna right now with this lace front.
You know what I'm talking about?
Just going to slide off.
The glue.
This glue ain't that good.
But, yeah, that's my little spiel, man, is that...
You just motivated a bunch of guys right now. The comics are like, yeah, Chingo's right.
Because sometimes, like, I was young, and in the hip-hop game, for whatever reason... It was uncool. Back in the day when we dressed baggy and everything, like it was uncool. Why you at the gym, bitch? We supposed to be at the club turning up. Or yoga, that's for girls. Or what, you think you're white drinking that fucking celery juice? Or whatever it is.
Juice.
Like you're drinking that green shit. But it's kind of like, it's I guess it comes with maturity, right? Because I was the dude eating Jack in the Box and at the club, liquor, Hennessy, just... junk and not really.
Now it's shots of wheatgrass.
Yeah, give me that wheatgrass.
Yeah, that sounds good right now.
Sounds delicious.
That's the hard part about being on the road. Like when I go do a club and I have to stay in a condo, like I'm like I need to go buy some food, and I just go buy ham, like bread, and that's it. And then I eat at the comedy club, and there's nothing good at the comedy club at all. And
well,
it just
yes,
leads
there
to
is. There's salads.
It depends what club.
Yeah,
It depends what club.
Well, okay.
Depends a lot. Yeah, if it's the improv, oh man, the improv.
Yeah, you're gonna get hooked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to other clubs.
No, yeah, all clubs are great, but they're not. Not all of them are great.
Some don't have a green.
We
phone.
try to be
pretty
super conscious of what we eat, like
Especially on the road.
On the road, I've been in prep mode on the road, and that was really hard because after the show, we'll go to a diner or whatever, and I was done with my meals, and that was really hard. But now we go to the diner, and I'll just get like 4 egg whites, and that was cool with some turkey bacon sometimes,
half a waffle.
And half a waffle.
Don't
That's my
forget the
thing.
half waffle.
I have to have half a waffle.
Half a waffle.
I don't even do.
You
I don't
don't
do
even bring out the whole waffle.
just bring half.
Hey,
Little syrup.
Kim, cut that hoe.
Yeah, I
Leave
just
that,
do half.
I don't even want to see that other half.
And then I'll ask him, "Will you eat the other half?" He'll be like,
Hey, bring another half back. Bring another half back.
Extra syrup. Extra
More
syrup.
butter, please.
Matter of fact,
Yeah.
let me just make an egg sandwich and use the waffle as bread.
"Yeah."
But how we doing on time?
I think it's time
Yeah,
for
it's
us to
time-
go,
time to
guys,
wrap it up.
because
Okay.
it's 6:45 and we got
Oh,
joke
yeah.
joint tonight.
We sure do. Thank you guys for tuning in. ChingoBling.com. And Luis, tell them where they can find you.
Hey, you can find me on Instagram at Luis Juarez Comic and on Twitter at Luis_Juarez with 3 Z's on the Juarez.
Oh shit!
Goddamn.
Yeah.
Well, y'all rewind that and write it down and make sure I connect with them. Super hilarious, fun, friendly dude. Make sure y'all connect with him and y'all stay in touch. And we shall see you on the road. Peace. Thank you, Luis.
Bye.